everyone. I am Dr. Shalini Srivastava, and in today's lecture I will be talking about the characteristics of the Romantic period. The first half of the 19th century has been called the Romantic era of English literature, that is approximately from 1798 till 1850. Approximately these 50 years are designated as the Romantic era. The neoclassical period of 18th century was followed first by a transitional period in the last decade of the 18th century, and after that we see the publication of lyrical ballads in 1798 that is said to have heralded the beginning of the Romantic literature. But one should keep in mind that literature is always in a state of flux. It is like a stream, it is always moving. So we cannot divide literature into watertight compartments. It is only for our convenience that we have designated various periods by various years. So roughly 1798 has been called the year in which Romantic era is said to have begun. This Romantic literature, as is very common with all sorts of literature and movements, it was a reaction against neoclassicism, and we also see the influence of French Revolution of 1789 also on the Romantic movement. Actually, the French Revolution of 1789 triggers off the Romantic era because it destroys the old social order in the name of liberty, equality, fraternity, emphasis on the common man, a return to nature, and so on. And by all these things, it created a new model of the society, and these things were appreciated by writers of the Romantic era like William Wordsworth, Samuel Taylor Coleridge, etc., and they appreciated this movement. Now, before the beginning of the Romantic era and after the completion of the Neoclassical age, means when we see the decline of the Neoclassical age, we see that there was an amalgamation of certain characteristics in the writing of writers like Thomas Gray, William Collins, and William Blake. Now these writers, they incorporated certain characteristics of the preceding Neoclassical era as well as the oncoming Romantic era. So we see a fusion of various characteristics. For example, at one side they are talking of order, clarity, rationalism. On the other side, they are also giving due emphasis to common man, nature, and so on. The important authors of the Romantic era have been divided for our convenience into two generations. The first generation of Romantic writers include William Wordsworth, S.T. Coleridge, Robert Southey, Charles Lamb, Thomas De Quincey, William Hazlitt, while the second generation of the authors of Romantic period include Lord Byron, P.B. Shelley, John Keats, etc. Now, it is to be noted that there is a difference between the writers of the first generation and the second generation, and though the various characteristics of the Romantic period are incorporated in the works of both these writers, yet we see that all these three writers, Lord Byron, Shelley, and John Keats, all these writers' career was cut short by their premature deaths, and the first generation of the Romantic writers, they survived. Means these second generation of the writers, they lost their lives and they were removed from the literary scene when the first generation of writers was still active. Some important novelists of the Romantic period include Mary Shelley, Jane Austen, Sir Walter Scott, etc. Now, in the next slide, I'll be talking about the various characteristics of Romanticism. Now, you have to keep in mind that these characteristics are totally different from the characteristics of the neoclassical literature. Okay, and for example, the first characteristic, back to nature. Nature has been given too much importance in the romantic literature. We can go to the extent of saying that nature has been worshipped in romantic literature, and a kind of very deep relationship has been found between man and nature. Second is the emphasis on imagination. Imagination has been given wings, and the writers were free to imagine and to give vent to whatever they imagined through their writings. The third important characteristic of the romantic literature is the importance that was given to common man. Now, the literature is not based on princes and nobles or courtiers, aristocrats, but common man becomes the subject of romantic literature. He assumes a place of importance in this, and due importance is also given to women and children, which means that children and women also become very important subjects of romantic literature. The next characteristic of romantic literature is subjectivity. There is no distance between the reader and the writer. The writer is not writing objectively, but he is having a direct conversation with his readers. A kind of direct relationship has been maintained with the readers. Moreover, connected to this, the next characteristic is autobiographical literature, means the writers talked about their experiences of life, talked about their sorrows, their happiness, their joys, etc. Then there is emphasis on emotions. Emotions ruled the romantic literature. It was, we can say, a literature of the heart and not a literature of mind. Then we see that heroic couplet, which was celebrated during the neoclassical era, it has totally been discarded in the romantic era. Instead of heroic couplet, we see the rise of the ballad forms and the rise of terza rima, blank verse, etc. And then poetic diction, which was a very, very important characteristic of the neoclassical literature, we see that this poetic diction is also discarded. And we have, on the contrary, we have the use of simple language, because here the objective of the writers was to establish a kind of connect with their readers and to make their poetry, make their literature more accessible and comprehensible to the common man. So they wanted to just remove this line of distance between the readers and the writers. Spontaneity is yet another feature of romantic era. The poems, the writings were spontaneous. They were spontaneous overflow of the feelings of the writers. Whatever the writer felt deeply, he expressed it through their writings. And then another very important characteristic of romantic era is use of supernatural element. Naturalism or use of supernatural element gets a boost in the romantic literature. We also see a very deep interest in the past, because past is something which is beyond the reach, where we can never go and experience the same kind of emotions that have happened. So we see a very great interest in the past because it offered mystery, it offered a sense of wonder. Then the neoclassical writers, they went back to the Roman and Greek writers of classical period for getting inspiration for their works. On the contrary, here in the literature of romantic era, we see the writers going back to the Renaissance period and to the medieval literature or the Middle Ages to get inspiration for their works. Then there is emphasis on individualism as against society. Emphasis on beauty is a very, very important characteristic of romantic literature. Everything that is beautiful has been celebrated, especially in the poems of John Keats. We see an element of innocence and wonder. in romantic literature. So anything which resulted in the feeling of wonder, or which talked about innocence, becomes a part of romantic literature. And lastly, it was art for art's sake. There was no didacticism, there was no feeling of connecting the society, reforming the society, or giving message to the society, but it was simply a literature which was written for the sake of creating a beautiful piece of literature. In conclusion, we can say that romantic literature was everything. It was in deep contrast to everything which was there in the neoclassical literature. It was a reaction against neoclassical literature, and the importance of romantic literature in English in England can never be underestimated. Thank you.